Less than stellar students to an exemplary one now. This one's from the Daily Star, Graham.
Yeah, this is interesting to me. I know about this one. ChatGPT, which is a kind of a algorithm that uses artificial intelligence,
Yes.
Was able to outperform human students at the world's most prestigious business school. Christian Terwiesch, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the oldest and most prestigious business schools in the world, decided to put ChatGPT, an AI bot that has gone viral for its ability to seemingly write anything, to the test, and basically it beat everybody.
I mean, that's a scary thought, isn't it? The idea that these top students are...
It scored a B.
Yeah, but I mean...
It's a loser.
Don't you I find something quite... Because the other day, I don't know if you saw this story where a chat GTP software type thing wrote a Nick Cave song and mimicked his lyrics. And he was horrified by this because he's saying there's no soul to this, but other people fell for it. I mean, Graham, how would you feel if an algorithm created a sitcom?
IT Crowd would be appropriate.
It would be.
It would. I love to see an
and
episode.
Wouldn't that, you know, I just think artistically this kind of stuff is...
Well, funnily enough, I downloaded it and I've been using it, and what it's very good at is kind of boilerplate stuff that you don't really like having to do a lot, you know?
Okay.
Like if you were, like one of my biggest difficulties is birthday cards. I cannot write birthday cards or any kind of like simple little
I hate
message.
it, yeah.
Yes, it's one of the worst things ever. So you can write, give me 10 birthday greetings, and it will give you a list of 10, and you could pick
well,
one.
that's actually quite useful.
That's where I shine. Guys, what you have to do is like speak from the heart.
Yeah.
And be emotional.
That's what I can't do. I'm dead inside.
But then again, but then when you give it more serious things, there's an interesting thing happens. Like again, my hobby horse. I decided to ask it, you know, give me some arguments that might be forwarded about transitioning, that it might be a negative rather than a positive, and it refused to do it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But isn't everything that it's doing based on sort of searches of what everyone's saying?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so what you have what I think we're in a little bit of a crisis at the moment, in the sense that I think there's a huge pressure to conform, and I worry that ChatGPT is just going to make that even worse.
It's going to make everything bland and everything the same.
Which is why I think it's a good thing, because then true individuality will then shine more.
Hopefully. But you're like me, you're an optimist, and I've been kicked about by optimism recently, you know. It's
overrated.
Yeah, and there's a story coming up that, oh boy.
Well, we're going to move on to this one. This is the Daily Star. This one makes...
Oh, this is it?
Oh, this is it.
No, sorry, that's later, sorry.
No, this is the Telegraph, sorry. What do you make
Advanced AI
this
could
is it.
kill everyone, warns Oxford researchers.
Right,
now,
great.
Now, this is he says, this is doctoral student Michael Cohen. I don't know why they couldn't get an actual PhD in there. But if you imagine training a dog with treats, it will learn to pick actions that lead to it getting treats. But if the dog finds a treat cupboard, it can get the treats itself without doing what we want to do. Now, first of all, I would argue that AI could come up with a much better analogy than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Terrible analogy. Get that chat, IGBT, whatever it is. But he's saying it's a literal arms race now. Which again is wrong. It's not a literal arms race.
No, that's
it's like there's not arms.
Yeah,
really, unless
this
it's sort of
story's
Terminator
kind of falling
arms
apart,
falling
isn't it?
on the ground.
Yeah.
But yes, this is going to have huge ramifications, and they're talking about AI basically taking control of its own destiny.
So why doesn't AI just take over, you know, writing for The Guardian and that kind of thing? Actually, they could easily do that. They probably already do that.
There's a few it'd be very hard to tell the difference. But there's a brilliant quote one student said, where he said, with superhuman AI, there is a particular risk that is of a different sort of class, which is, well, it could kill everyone. Now, I'm going to be controversial here and say that I'm against it. I don't like it. It doesn't
This
sound
is why
good.
you were cancelled. Comments like this.
But what's interesting about it is that the story, you read through this story and it goes into it in such a way that it's like a film. He said, at one point, the same guy says, if you have something that's much smarter than us across every domain, it would presumably avoid sending any red flags while we could still pull the plug. It's saying that it could contact another machine and tell the other machine to just hang on, save this code, and I'll get it when I need it.
This is every sci-fi movie. This guy has been watching too many sci-fi, because that's the plot of Avengers: Age of Ultron. There's a bit of Terminator thrown in. There's a bit of Matrix. There's, do you remember War Games?
Yes, with
he's basically talking about all these movies.
Yeah, but that's because those movies are just prescient. That's exactly how we're going to die.
I love this bit. There's a bit as well. It says, so if we're able to capture that in technology, then of course it's going to pose just as much risk to us as we have posed to other species. The dodo is one example. That's a pretty stark example.
It is.
It's like the most famously extinct creature of all time.
That's us now.
Yeah, and say, well, we might have something, might be a bit like the dodo.
Oh, for goodness sake. Pull the plug. Stop these robots. But what about these ones? We've got another story now about liquid robots. Graham, you talk about Terminator. Isn't Terminator 2 about a liquid robot that destroys everyone?
Yeah, it's all going very well, isn't it? These researchers have created these shape-shifting humanoid robots that can turn themselves into liquid. They're also magnetic and they can conduct electricity. The breakthrough could allow for the creation of more robots that can shift between liquid and solid, allowing them to be used in a varying variety of situations, like chasing a car and jumping onto it and clawing into it with your giant claws and ripping it open and trying to kill the two people inside.
Well, there it is on the screen right now, and it is like the T-1000.
How did this article not mention the
T-1000?
Yeah. They got through the whole article without one mention of it.
Well, it's like zombie movies where no one in zombie movies ever knows the word zombie.
Yeah. Like, this animated
The walkers.
creature.
The walkers are coming.